Yeah, all right, guys. I have a meeting that
Okay.
I forgot to it's at 10, and it's kind of a big meeting. I actually fucked up, so
All right. Well, we'll play another time. Thanks for introducing it. I'll watch the tutorial in the meantime so that I understand the game a little better.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
All
Take
right,
care, Fed.
all
Have a good
right. You
night.
too, you too. Bye
Bye.
bye. All right, guys. Sorry, I actually fucked up. There's a meeting I have to attend. All right. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right.
I've been
See you
consistent
tomorrow.
about this. I never really liked offline TV. Okay, no bias. Okay, don't get mad at me. And I never liked Fred's content. They're not massages. Don't include sexual acts and weird fucking hand maneuvers. That's not included in. That's a premium package that only premium members get to do. Not fucking randos.
I didn't really understood what Fed did. What he did was he didn't really ask for consent, and he OTV can sug my balls. Oh. I think that what Fed did was routinely violate the bodily autonomy of women in the offline TV house. It's a really weird situation considering the fact that, one, they were originally friends, but that's usually how it happens. It usually happens around friends. But also, they lived in the same fucking house. So that makes it even, that makes it much worse. Because then what the fuck are you going to do? You can't even leave. You know what I mean? If Fed was fucking blackout drunk and Lily walked into Fed's room and was like, I know you're sad, Fed. I know you just recently had a breakup. Can I give you a massage? And then the next day he felt conflicted about that and was like, I didn't have the right kind of mental clarity at that time, and I don't really like that happened. Then it would be that Lily assaulted Fed.
From what I read, they decided to go public with it because they had brought it up to Fed and they didn't feel like he was changing his behavior when with his power and influence, that he could still continue just doing the same thing to other girls. And I mean, at the end of the day, I support them for coming out with that stuff. I don't want to talk about this too much because it's not my story. Fed didn't do anything to me. I'm not the person who was the victim in this situation. It was the girls. And if you guys want to hear more about it, you should read what they had to say. I don't want to butcher or dilute their message. Hopefully this experience helps Fed change and grow as a person in the long run. Nobody likes hearing this kind of difficult news, but I think it's really important when you see victims actually talking about it or bringing it to public awareness with the intention of trying to create a longer term change. So,
okay, so for people that are saying that, Shiba's right, you can just say stop or don't do this or whatever. Okay, you have to understand there's a concept called a power dynamic, especially in a situation like this where you have your fucking manager that is doing this, okay? That's a person that runs that controls a lot of your finances, that has a lot of decision-making power over what you do with your brand, that has an enormous amount of social and influence with how they conduct themselves. It is extremely difficult in that scenario when you are both being overwhelmed potentially physically, overwhelmed mentally. You are in a power dynamic scenario that you have to realize, and I'm speaking directly to the people in the audience that think that they can just say stop and think that they can, we're not being SJWs. We're not being it's not about the movement, man. Oh, women, this is really fucking important. The fabric of the gaming industry, it's that important. Depends on you understanding this, that there is a serious, if you respect me at all for all the work that I've put into to this industry and everything I've fucking done, okay, then if you have even an ounce of respect for for me, then like please listen, and I will tell you that this power dynamic causes this pressure to happen where you will freeze in that scenario, and it is super fucked up. And the only avenue that women have to be able to actually do anything is to put shit on Twitter, because the fucking police can't help them. There's no justice system that can help them. There's no system of law that can help them. The only thing they have is a social support network that will hold these people accountable and get them out of the industry, period. That's the only thing. You have to support them.
I want to put a huge emphasis on this. The way he shit-talked Yvonne and Lily to me and others, particularly, I will just recount my experience, is so frustrating knowing what happened between them. The Yvonne incident happened, and Fed would start talking to me. I'm so sorry for being emotional. He would talk to me about how Yvonne was lazy and not working enough and playing League all the time. And I was concerned. And he would say, oh, she like won't work on OTV stuff with me or brainstorm and blah, blah, blah. And this discussion got to the point of us almost letting Yvonne go from the company because we thought she just like wasn't interested enough in working with us. When in reality, her behavior was entirely because of the incident that happened between them two. And so it just blows my mind that he would try to manipulate the narrative in that way. And kind of aggressively, if that makes sense. Like, he was really not wanting her there anymore. And, mind you, I did not know about the Yvonne incident at this time. So, the reason I'm so emotional and angry about this is because I think back to how I acted then, and I feel so bad. I feel so fucking bad that, like, I would talk to Yvonne, like, sternly about, like, oh, like, we need to work, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I had no idea the reason she was behaving the way that she did was because she was so incredibly uncomfortable around him. So, yeah, I just feel really bad, and I'm so sorry to Yvonne and Lily, and I really wish I knew back then. As for Lily, after the incident with her and him, and after he tried to like get with her basically, when she was really vulnerable and like heartbroken and in probably the worst mental state I've ever seen her after her breakup with Albert, after he tried to get with her in that state, he started complaining to me about how Lily and Michael were hanging out a lot and excluding him, and how he felt lonely, and how he felt like Lily ditched him as a friend. And I genuinely felt so bad for Fed. Again, mind you, he's been the closest person to me in the house for a long time. And even after our friendship became like kind of stale, I just wasn't that much closer with anyone else. So he would tell me all this stuff, and I felt so bad for him. I was like, oh, they must not realize that, like, they're excluding him and he feels bad. And yeah, and like I talked to Lily and I was like, hey, like, you know, maybe spend a bit of time with Fed, like, he's lonely and stuff. And I was trying to help everyone. And I didn't know at the time, probably the reason Lily wasn't spending much time with him is because he tried to come on to her when she was sad as shit. And he warped my perception to be against these people. And so I know exactly how all of my friends were against me. I can't even imagine the way he warped their perception against me.
I know from hanging out with them, when the little that I hung out with them, it's not like I was buddy with them. Fed and Pokey were like always together, you know? Unless Pokey was seeking another guy. But usually they were pretty close together. They were always with each other. And I'm sure this is not easy for Pokimane, as much as people want to perceive that this is easy for Pokimane and that this is like not some troubling time. This isn't easy for her. And I really need to get better content. She's right. But look, I stand by, I like I said today, I called Fed. He is going to get shit done. He is taking a lot of time off, and he's going to figure shit out, whether it's through therapy and other stuff. And I don't know if this is wrong of me to say, but I still like Fed as a person. I hope he gets better. I hope he gets better because I really do like Fed. I like the guys. I really hope he gets better. And I hope that he can get therapy. I hope he can learn from his mistakes. And after months and months of time and stuff like that, I hope he can recover.
I also want to say, like, I think people were saying, like, that the statements were kind of like airing dirty laundry out or just like awkward flirting or whatever. For starters, flirting does not involve putting your hand in your friend's shirt that has a boyfriend that you live with, that you work with. That's not flirting. Like, just please don't. Secondly, a big reason why we felt the need to talk about this, as we said, feeling like he wasn't going to get better, but mainly as a warning. We're not necessarily trying to shame Fed into being a better person. We were just worried that something like this would happen again and again and again, even if it wasn't in our circle.